everyone. Welcome to What's Happening in Real Estate this week. We are past our third year. I think it is 3 years in this thing. And who thought we'd be going this long? Oh my God. So it's been a good ride. And I just want to say we got Conrad Zerini here, broker owner of REMAX, Escarpment and REMAX Niagara, runs a good operation. And we got Mission 35 Mortgages, Brian Hogbin and myself, Rob Golfi with REMAX, the Golfi team. And we make a great team in discussing what's happening. Just briefly, I want to discuss. I was just looking at the numbers just based on as of today. Unit sales up from the first 17, 18 days. October up 20% in Hamilton and surrounding areas from last year, and 22% in Niagara up from the same time last year. So this, I'm going to tell you, I truly feel November, we're going to have a big kick. Even if it's a quarter point up, well, everybody's hoping it's going to be half a point, but we'll see what happens there. That announcement is going to happen in next week on the 23rd. Brian, like, what do you? I want to know, what does a mortgage guy do when that's happening? Like, is he sitting by? Is he watching the news? Like, is he like? Where are you?
Shower before the announcement? You put on that suit? What do you do?
I'm sitting in front of a fire with a warm blanket, a hot cup of cocoa, just waiting for Tiff to come out.
You have a special hat you wear.
Do you wear the same underwear? You don't wash your underwear?
Yeah, grow the beard. Like it's like the playoffs, right? Just getting ready for it. I've got my big flag, rates.
Oh yeah. So
I think we are going to see the big one. I know Conrad will probably be on the half a point bus, but I'm actually, from that inflation number that came out at 1.6, that was lower than what was expected. So I think I'm going to go for the half a point next week. I'm going to go for the big cut.
I think they should. I don't know what the hell they're waiting for. If they really want things to be moving along, that'll kick it in gear, and that'll give a lot of positive vibe through the consumers. So, I mean, we do need it. If they do a quarter point, basically they just ruin the rest of this.
Well, I'd say if they do half a point, we'll have a white Christmas, guys. It'll be a white Christmas. With snow. Okay,
that's it.
We want it in the black. We want Christmas in the black. Lots of things.
Yeah, there you go.
You know what's funny? I flip-flop back and forth, and again, I don't know how much real time. Like, is this established like up to the minute? Like they had those inflation numbers, and I know a lot of smart money is saying maybe a quarter point now, but look, I think they got to be bold and then say, look, you know what, we're going to let the economy kind of do their thing. The jobs numbers were fantastic in September. Yeah. You got to remember that. That's something. And prices, gas, they thought they were going to go up, and that's the only wild card. I think things are calming down in the rest of the world. So the bond, we ticked up last week. Remember, like almost 30 basis points. It kind of relaxed a little bit, so that kind of sent people reeling, because the bonds got they're predicting 2 rate cuts or 2 rate whatevers in advance. Wouldn't you say that, Brian? Like that's really what the bond is looking at. They're anticipating, they're baking it into it now. So some of that money is probably thinking it's a quarter point. But again, I think it's all about confidence. I think do something big. Let's figure this thing out. But some people are calling that neutral rate, the overnight rate, at 2.75 by next summer. But I don't know if people are really hunting in variable right now. They're hunting in fixed. And I think fixed, I don't know how much more fixed can go down than they are today.
Right? I agree. I totally agree. And I think that people are looking. We're seeing a lot of people take the 5-year fix because, listen, from what we've been through in the past 4 or 5 years, who wants to let it ride now? A lot of people are looking for certainty. They're looking for peace of mind. A lot of people are grateful that they've got their home or got into the housing market. So they're like, listen, I want to set it and forget it because this stuff gives me heart palpitations, right? If I'm sitting and looking at it with what they've been through with the variable rate, and to lock in the low 4s right now, like, come on, 5-year fix, low 4s right now, you're very affordable. It's a great spot. And to your point, that is likely going to start to edge up when we see the variable coming down.
Question, is there, how many more announcements this year after this month? Is there just one more? One more. Yeah. So do you think they'll do a quarter and a quarter, or do you think they'll do a half a point and then keep it at that and do another, then start dropping again in the new year?
I think realistically, we'll see a quarter and a quarter. My hopes for the half and then a quarter to see 0.75 down but it's all going to depend on the numbers. It's all going to depend on how those jobs numbers come out. Was that a fluke that came out for September numbers? Maybe, maybe not. And what's the inflationary number? Is that going to continue to get pounded down for the next number? I think that's really what we got to look for when those November numbers come out.
So here's one thing I want to talk about. I do want to talk about roommate rentals are up, but the one thing I want to talk about is realtors out there. Conrad, like, I mean, you know this, you go to seminars, you deal with REMAX, corporate, and why do realtors run this business like for instance, realtors, here's what realtors do. They will go and respect a boss more themselves, a boss working for somebody else than they would respect themselves. Why wouldn't they wake up in the morning and say, I'm doing this, I'm going to work on this and work, but they don't. What is it? Why are they willing to work for somebody and just not respect themselves and work for themselves? Like, why would they do that? Is it easier that way? What is it?
People like to be told what to do, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, look, at the end of the day, people are always looking for accountability, and are people waking up in the morning and doing stuff? Like, if they're staying home, they're, puttering around their house, they procrastinate till the cows come home. Like, if you asked a realtor, say, look, fill out a sheet for the last week with 15-minute increments or even half an hour increments, I will tell you, they could barely fill like 45 minutes of actual real business generating. I think people got to wake up in the morning and kind of, set this plan in motion. Rob, you just did a great event, okay? Winning in any market, which I think is fantastic. I love that. I love that philosophy because you're getting a mindset that no matter what, interest rates could be here, there, whatever, we're going to build a business that's going to win in any market, no matter what the ebbs and flows are. And I think that is so important for realtors, but it's very not in their mindset. They think the interest rates are high, I'm going to stay home today. They're always in their minds that way. They don't run this like a business. And look, you and I were the only people that said, would you do this for free? You're the only, and I asked the question, if you had the choice, I know this is crazy, but look, at the end of the day, would you still do this work if you did it for free? And I got to put up my hand and you put up your hand. And the thing is, but the subtlety is, like, when I started out doing this, I'll tell you, a lot of times I did work for free. And you know yourself, Rob, building this team. Yeah. And you know yourself too, Brian, we all worked for free. We paid ourselves less because we couldn't really afford to pay ourselves. So we did work for free, but we had the passion and love for this industry and knew that we had to create systems and there's got to be a better way. These guys are hand to mouth, and that's the scary thing. And there's so many of them. And they just kind of, I don't know.
I think sometimes they start to dollarize the hour, and you got to stop that, right? You don't dollarize like, oh, I did this for free, or I did this and it didn't pay me. Well, of course, like sometimes you get paid $10,000 for an hour worth of work, and sometimes you get paid nothing for 10,000 hours, right?
Yeah.
Like it's the occupation that you chose to be in. So, and I see this in the mortgage world as well too, right? The average mortgage agent will do less than 5 hours a week of prospecting. 5 hours of making
that's calls. That's even a lot right now that people are prospecting. A lot of people don't even do any. They just waiting for the phone to ring. It's just crazy.
One purposeful hour a day that people struggle to do. Right. So
it'd be a miracle.
No.
And
it's crazy. It's crazy. What is the dropout rate anyway, Conrad? Like, is it like 80%? There's a turn. What's the turnaround?
It's not enough because they something happens. They get a phone call from an uncle or an aunt, and they do a deal, and there's just the next one and the next one, the next one. So it's very unfortunate. We could talk for hours about the industry, the barrier to entry, and all that kind of thing is really low. And these guys, they make a deal and they're super happy, right? They make that money. But I'd love to see the dropout rate being more. But again, it's teams like yourselves that are dominating the market, and great agents that are dominating the market, that it's probably like squeezing these others out. Because look, the market is shrinking. We all know that, and we all know the market is shrinking, and some of those people will have to up their game. to be able to supplement the shrinking market. But they say, you know what, I'm happy and blah blah blah. But look, this is a professional business. You got to wake up in the morning and you got to start to think this thing like we do and think passionate about this. And how am I gonna? My thing, I wake up in the morning. How am I going to empower agents to empower their customers to make better decisions? And I think that's what you should be all about every day, every minute, and create that kind of a business and that tribe of people around you that depend on you. And sometimes you're going to give free stuff away, and that's what it's all about, right?
I can't
I
believe
think
it.
you're going to give your time away too. I think a lot of people
Yeah.
wake up, they want to become self-employed, a mortgage agent or a realtor because they want to have free time and flexibility. I think it's the wrong attitude, right? Because like you guys, I'm in the office every day at 8 o'clock. Every single day at 8 o'clock, I'm here, right? Because it's not freedom and flexibility. It is an obligation to be here and to do the things that need to get done every day. And the lack of urgency I see sometimes is unbelievable, because even just the follow-up, Rob, your team does a great job on the follow-up all the time, but it's amazing how many times I'll email a listing agent on some information because I'm always looking at property, and the response back is like, they don't even want to talk to you.
No,
You know what I
no
mean?
kidding.
It's like,
I know.
and
I
there's no
know.
follow-up. There's no, hey, are you working with someone? Do you want to do something, right? And it's just these opportunities. Sometimes the success is in the follow-up, and sometimes that doesn't even happen.
I can't believe the edge. Conrad, I'll tell you something. I don't know. I don't think other brokers like yourself do the education level that you do. Like I was just talking to Holly the other day, and I says, wow, like what you do for the agents. And I can't believe the amount of education and knowledge that you give, and it's not being taken advantage of sometimes. And it's like, and like you, like I'm telling you, like you've got, like, I don't know anybody that does it. Like it's crazy. And I'll tell you, there's not many brokers even in around the GTA or even like anywhere around that does what you do. Like
we adopted a very crude and simple philosophy. It's yours to lose. Right.
Yes.
And what I love about, and I've been in TLN world lately because I watch Italian cooking shows, right? That's my pastime. Anyway, now you guys know what I told you. Done. Anyway, I'm watching TLN and I see Rob's commercials, and kudos to you, Rob. At the end of the day, it wasn't like call me, call Rob. Make sure we're one of the people you call. Okay, call two others. Like you threw it out there because you're not afraid to compete with everybody. I thought that was brilliant. Everybody else is like, I'm number one, I'm the guy. No, go ahead, call other people. We love to be a part of your decision making. I think that was a brilliant maneuver because again, you've got that same philosophy. You know, your team members too. It's yours to lose, guys. We give you the opportunities. We give you the training, the network, the marketing. It's yours to lose, and I think that's our guiding principle at our company. It's yours to lose. Like we're providing the best platform, and so are you, Rob, and I know you are too, Brian. And at the end of the day, if you can't make it go, if you don't get the listing, look at yourself, right? Only look in the mirror, right? That's the thing, right?
Yeah, no kidding. I know. So here's another thing that's been happening. An article just came out in the paper. They said that roommate rental listings up nearly 50% across major Canadian markets. Now, I know that there's roommate rentals for immigrants that are coming into the country. Aside from that, a lot of millennials have bought houses. They have to rent out a room in order to afford to keep the house. And also millennials can't afford to even rent an apartment or a condo without, they only can afford to rent an apartment. Like it's going up. Like, is this going to continue? Or like, I mean, like housing prices aren't going to go down. Like this is our plateau. We are at the plateau of the housing market. It's just going to go up from here. Like we had that increase that happened in the last 5 years, and now it's kind of settled, but it's going to do another hike again soon. And what is going to happen? Like, I mean, is everybody's renting out their basements now? Everybody's renting out the upper floor, the lower floor. Like housing is going to be too expensive to even buy as an investment, so people aren't going to be able to have that. But what's a millennial going to do now? Like it's just going up. Like it's not just immigrants renting a room; it's regular people born in this country.
Oh, absolutely. And the RBC just had an interesting study about grandparents and how they're helping their kids to just daily, and their grandkids. 70% of these people they polled are worried they won't have enough money for their retirement because they're helping two generations, right? And it's kind of sad, but it's and with the amount of non-building going on, and it's so expensive to build, this is going to continue, and we're going to see. It's going to be a stress on cities and everything, especially when you start doubling up and, basement apartments and all that kind of thing. It's going to put pressure on all the infrastructure. They haven't even thought of that, right? In terms of what they've got going and sewer capacity and everything. Think about if everybody put a basement apartment in, now you got another family living in the basement. Think of the capacity on stuff. They didn't have any idea of this, and they never planned it. So it's going to be a very interesting time. I think single detached is going to be the mother's
luxury.
milk. It's a luxury, and it's going to be something in real estate that is going to be very sought after, and that's going to be the unicorn. Really, at the end of the day, is going to be single detached, and we're all going to have to understand that, because not everybody wants to live in a skybox, but you may have to a glass box in the air. But you might see this shift where the price per square foot for a condo in the air is going to be less than it is for a house on the ground. It's already happening in downtown Burlington. The small houses in downtown, are getting more per square foot than the condos are. See that shift? And that's just the canary in the coal mine as far as I can see. That's a bellwether. You're going to see that kind of going to infest the entire region going forward.
I got a question to ask you. Conrad, you got a room to rent out in your house. Who would you rather have, me or Brian?
Well,
who would you pick? We're both applying.
I'll be in.
What would be?
Well, if I had you, Rob, I wouldn't sleep at night because we'd be talking the whole fucking night about real estate. But if I had Brian, I'd be in much better shape. I'd have nice pecs and
yeah.
I think the answer is a triplex, guys. It's a triplex.
Yes. No, we're gonna have Conrad's got to rent out 2 rooms in his house, so we have both. That's it. Good stuff. Anyway, guys, listen. Thanks for being on, and we'll catch you next week. Have a good day.